And here in the Coachella Valley, water agencies say we are always operating under a state of drought. As we all know, it is the desert after all. But now we are well below our normal rainfall amounts. In fact, the wells are just about dry even for us.
Last week, we did see some welcome rain, but only about 1/10 of an inch. Local residents want to know if that's helping in the drought at all. In fact, Martin from Palm Springs writes us saying, quote, "I was wondering where the rain runoff goes after passing through the washes. Does any of it go to the aquifer, replenishing ponds in La Quinta? And if not, would it be possible to get it there? And how much difference would it make?" Well, that's a real lot of questions, Martin. And when we have a real lot of questions, we turn to our own Angela Monroe, who's live in the newsroom. Hey, Angela.
Gino and Janet, the simple answer is no. One rainstorm does not end the drought. Experts say it would take dozens of storms like we saw last week just to bring us back from the drought. It's a process that could take years, but every drop does help.
Rain is a welcome and infrequent visitor to the valley, especially these days of severe drought. Professor of Natural Resources Kurt Leuschner explains where the rain runoff goes.
The rain runoff always goes to the lowest point of the valley, which tends to be the Whitewater River channel. And from there, a small portion of it may trickle in to the ground and eventually into the aquifer, but that might take years.
The aquifer where our groundwater is pulled from is in a state of overdraft, or more water is being removed than is going back in, so it needs to be replenished. On the western end of the valley, the whitewater spreading area is doing just that northwest of Palm Springs. And for the eastern Coachella Valley, there are replenishment ponds in La Quinta, but they're filled with water imported from the Colorado River.
And those replenishment ponds mostly are being filled with Colorado River water on an occasional basis, and so the little amount of rain that we had on Friday, for example, isn't going to make much impact on those replenishment ponds.
To give you an idea where the valley is in terms of rainfall, since January we've had 1.3 inches of rain, but normally we would have had 2.8 inches of rain by this time of year. Last year was really bone dry, only 0.75 inches by May in 2014.
Compared to last year, which was a very poor year, we're a little bit ahead, but still below average. So in terms of the long-term drought, we're not out of it by a long shot. We need maybe 50 more storms like the one we had on Friday, just before we can even talk about getting out of the drought.
Professor Leuschner says getting out of the drought will take many years, so conservation really is key because historically the Coachella Valley only receives less than 5 inches of rain a year. Live in the newsroom, I'm Angela Monroe. Back to you, Gino and Janet.
Thank you, Angela. Hopefully we'll get